All right, and welcome back to SpeedGaming Live 2020 Marathon. We have SDiezal here getting ready to run Shovel Knight any percent, and so I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to SDiezal.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. We're going to be running Shovel Knight any percent category today. Let me get my timer ready here. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Shovel Knight, the great 2014 retro-inspired platformer, has gone over for Shovelry, my friend. The any percent category has gone over many changes over the years, different variations, different routes, very user-friendly as to what your skill level is and what route you want to use. The route I'll be showing you today is what we use as the Orb Route. I've been running this route pretty much since I've started running the game in 2015. There we go. Just want to get Leap of Faith. Very risky jump there. The Orb Route basically is getting the green orb relic that you purchase in the first village visit after Pridemore Keep. I'll explain more when we get to it later, but it is basically just a route divergence from the other routes, which are, there's a Flare Wand route, there is a route that gets the coin, the alchemy coin, which is actually the current fastest route, I believe, and there's a route where you get nothing at all. It's the nothing route. But I'm much more of a just a traditionalist, as in the Orb Route used to be one of the faster routes. It's definitely a very user-friendly route, like I was saying before. It's very there's a lot of, it makes the boss fights in this game a lot easier. We're going to do what I like to call the bubble skip, which is right there. If you've seen a run of Shovel Knight before, you know that there's a skip there that if you manipulate those bubbles that the dragon shoots up, you can actually pogo them above the screen and zip to that part right there where I just jumped at in this screen. Saves about 2 seconds. But for marathon safety, we're just going to skip it. Haven't gotten into shovel canceling yet, but we're going to show an example of it right here. So, with Shovel Knight, when you press the attack button to swing the shovel, he does this little animation, and it stops your movement when you are walking. You can cancel that by jumping. So, if we want to have a continuous attack with the shovel, the fastest way to do that is to jump and attack, and then as soon as you are about to land back on the ground, jump again and keep attacking in the same motion. With a technique like that, it allows us to stun lock the first Black Knight fight, as you just saw there. And we're going to try to use that same strat again later on. Coming up next is King Knight stage at Pridemore Keep. We're going to get a little skip here. If you get through this room fast enough, you'll skip that. I was a little early with it. I missed a what we call the gentle jump right there. If you swing your shovel at the right moment during a screen transition, you'll actually gain a little bit of height. Normally, then you're not supposed to. And you can actually make it onto that top ledge when you get up there. So yeah, with the shovel cancel technique, we use that for the stun lock, and we also use that to damage really quickly and to get through certain areas pretty fast, and we'll see that coming up soon. These chandeliers, you can just walk under them and hop on this one. If you go for the Flare Wand route, that is the door for the Flare Wand, so you would step over to that side. With the Chaos Orb, we're going to get that after this stage. We just make a quick visit to the village. We're also going to get a little bit of gold when we get there. I'm going to do a deboost here. Everyone's favorite enemy, the propeller rat. I don't know, it's definitely my favorite enemy.
I can't say much as to which one is my favorite, as I have yet to actually play through this game.
Oh man, let me definitely recommend everyone to give this a shot if you love old school retro platformers. This one's inspired by so many DuckTales, Zelda 2, Mega Man, a lot of references to Mario 3, stuff like that. It's really, really good.
Sad thing is, I have a copy of it on the Wii U, and I just haven't gotten around to playing it.
That's actually how I first played this was on the Wii U, way back in 2014, or released on the Wii U, the DS, and I believe, or 3DS and the PC, and then other platforms afterwards. All right, so King Knight. Got a little too close to him. We're good. Had a little backup fight there. So, well, a lot of the bosses in these games are scripted. Their movements will be the same as long as you perform pretty much the same actions. With King Knight, he's going to make that same movement if you attack him on that left side of the screen. You use the ceiling to pogo him, so you can get some quick hits in there, and we use the shovel cancel to get some quick hits on him there. But once you learn the pattern, it's pretty much, like I said, scripted fights. Learn the patterns, and it's pretty good. So here's where we'll buy the Chaos Orb. And we're also going to go right here. And right there. In the wall was a music note. Music notes in this game are collectibles that you can sell to the bard right here. And there was a 200 gem right above that, so we're gonna go to this and go. So you sell that. We're gonna need this money for purchases later on. But on to the Licht Yard. So the Licht Yard has these frogs. Frogs they have a lot of different RNG patterns. They're very unpredictable. You have to be pretty much on your toes at all times. You're gonna have to look out for those guys. Hop over this guy. Some of them, they will not move until you attack them. Some of them will jump when you get into a certain proximity of them. Alright, so coming up is a really annoying strat here we want to try not to die on, is get squished by this wall here. That's fine. Didn't get the hit I wanted. It's really easy to get squished on that wall. That's an instant kill if the wall comes up on you. And normally you can just kind of get a quick pogo hit on them and then make your way through. Next room we're going to use a neat orb strat here. That takes care of them. Orb is really good about taking care of those frogs.
Gotta love that orb.
Orb! Oh, there, we're good. We're good. I'm gonna grab the health here just to be safe. There we go. Alright, so we break that checkpoint within the route. The checkpoints in this game you can break for gold. The only problem with breaking a checkpoint is it basically disables its use. If you die, you have to go back to the last checkpoint. So we're gonna get that safety checkpoint right there. That's fine. See there, that's the problem with frogs right there. We needed to get to this dirt pile and fast enough. And usually we'd take a damage boost off that first frog, but he jumped a little bit too far to the right and I boosted the wrong way. That's okay. This dark room's a little scary. There we go. Those are pretty much blind jumps. You just pretty much have to trust your movement there, making sure that you know you're making the right jumps. Spectre Knight is a very straightforward fight. So we have a 50-50 chance of him going to the left or the right. He went to the right, so that's bad RNG. So we basically got to go for the kind of a backup here. Not bad. He'll either go, like, so in the first phase there, he went to the left. In the second phase, he went to the right. In the second phase, he has a chance to go to the left again, and you can get behind him and attack him. If he goes to the right, you can't make it there fast enough to attack him, so you pretty much have to wait for him to come back. When you get down to really, really low times in this game, unfortunately that fight and a few other things can be the factor that which doesn't allow you to PB just because you got a bad RNG on Spectre Knight, but you got to take it with it and, you know, expect a time loss there if you don't get the RNG that you're looking for. These dream sequences are pretty much take damage as quickly as possible and then be on your merry way. The coin flip. Thank you, David. Alright, so coming up is one of the more stressful strats in the game, Beetle Skip. Oh, just that one there. Beetle Skip pretty much allows, there's going to be a skip that we're going to be using one of these blue birders that you see bouncing around to skip a lava section here that we would normally need the beetle for. So let me set this up here. And we're going to have to break these blocks at the right moment. Should be good. There we go. So you need to set that up pretty much exactly that in that same way. You have a little bit of wiggle room as sort of frames go, but you basically manipulate that blue birder to be at the exact moment where you can pogo across the lava there. And I say that's a stressful strat because it's very easy to mess that up, and that can also be your run killer right there as well. If you don't do that, normally you have to wait for the beetle to slowly crawl his way to the right-hand side. So that strat actually saves you about, I think, 12 to 14 seconds. I might be wrong about that. Somewhere around that range. The next purchase here are the Dust Knuckles. These are one of the more useful relics you're also going to be using within the run. You'll see their use here in just a moment. But they basically allow you to move through hitboxes. Such as enemies, objects, like that. And we're going to try to do a hit here. That's fine. If you hit that slime at the right way, you can hit it to the right. Just going to make a skip right here with the Dust Knuckles, just like that. And we're going to break this checkpoint. This checkpoint and the last checkpoint were free to break, meaning they cost no time at all to break them. So it's pretty much free money that we use in the route. Very crucial to get those checkpoints. There's a skip right here you can do with the birder by knuckling through it using the same strat we used in that same enemy in the previous screen, but it's also very risky and you have to set it up. Oh boy, this is a bad setup. have to set it up the right way. Look at that. These blue birders can be very annoying. Especially if you, like, let them get to this screen. Alright, Mole Knight. This fight's gonna go real quick. So, the way that we do this fight, this is another scripted fight. You'll do the same pattern every single time. With the orbs, you can time the throw so that the orbs bounce with the hitbox of Mole Knight. And if you notice, you can actually do a shovel hit and then a quick pogo in the same instance, like almost 3 to 4 frames later. So if you shovel hit and then hold down and pogo, you can almost get like a double hit every time he zooms by you. And then you just get behind him and finish him off there. Alright, Exploitatorium, very tough stage. Mostly because the majority of getting the stage correctly is getting the global cycles. I'm gonna be, ooh, I'm off, yeah. I missed that one right there. So we're gonna be off the global cycle here a little bit. Oh yeah, we're gonna be way off. That's okay, we can recover. We'll be on the next cycle, looks like. By cycle, these pot lids right here. Ugh! Alright, just gotta be a little careful. They all start on the same cycle. That's fine. As soon as the stage starts. And you have to get them all right in a row. We'll try and fix it here. We can get our money back, which shouldn't be an issue. So the other thing is this little part right here, which is what I was trying to get onto. There we go. There we go. Alright, we're good. I just wanted to make sure we get our money back and we get past that part. Okay. So if you hit every single room perfectly, all of those pot lids will be perfectly aligned for you to keep going without stopping. We messed up the very first screen, so we were already off the cycle. But you can try to fix it, get back on the correct cycle again.
Right, do we happen to have a quick moment?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So unfortunately my shift for hosting is coming to an end, so I will be turning it over to Crunchy Lex to help out with the hosting.
Sounds good.
Alright, y'all have a good night.
Thank you. So that was the wizard mini-boss. He has the most HP of like all the pretty much enemies in the game. For at least Shovel of Hope. Alright, this is going to be what we call the Ghetto Smoggy Ladder Skip. If we can get this right. There we go. Smoggy, the current world record holder, and pretty much Shovel of Hope, God speedrunner. Before he mastered what is the most known strat for that room, he had to come up with his own version, and that's the one that he came up with. It was the D-Boost, which is the one I still use to this day. That, we just manipulate these clone Shovel Knights to jump down so you can pogo him and then knuckle up top. Got Plague Knight coming up. Always good to get that health right there. We are good on money, I believe. Yeah, we're good on money. Plague Knight, this fight, it's always fun. So his movement, at the start feels very random, but he does have a couple patterns, and then he just kind of goes pretty crazy. There we go. The main thing you want to do is stay as close to him as you can as possible, and then just memorize the beginning patterns that he can have. That way you take the most damage out. Not a whole lot of technique going into that fight for the most part. We do get enough gold. As long as you get enough 8,000 gold by the end of Exploitatorium, you can go ahead and make your next purchases. We're going to be buying the Conjurer's Coat, Purple Armor, and Charge Slash. Both are 4,000 each. Conjurer's Coat gives you 40 more damage, or I'm sorry, 40 more mana at the cost of taking a little bit more damage per hit. It's a little bit of a trade-off. Or I'm sorry, it's 50. I can't do math. And Charge Slash allows you to hold down the shovel button for a charge attack, which does twice the amount of a regular shovel attack in damage. See if I can get Shell Skip. Hey! Like to do the little Shell Skip there. You time that little shell to like bounce back and hit the bubbles before you go down there. It's one of those weird things you find after running this game for so long. Hit that little thing up there. Oh! Early jumped it. That was a little scary. So for Treasure Knight, Stranded, or I'm sorry. I always forget what a Treasure Knight stage is. Iron Whale. We have a lot of nifty rooms in this stage, like this one. Normally you can throw an orb as soon as you enter that room and it'll hit all of the tentacles in a row. That was a little bit off there. And upcoming we have one of our best friends. So within the community, we call him 420 Fish. He has some really weird RNG when it comes to this fight, but with Charge Slash and our extra mana, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alright, that's fine. I'm gonna go for this health here, just to be safe. Now, normally you can actually get the anchor right after that fish, but we don't get the anchor in this run. Neat little dirt pile skip there. You can hit the dirt pile off the wall and then wait a few seconds. Not even, I think it's like maybe a second. And then pogo it to skip the right side of that. Coming up is the anchor room. We're going to take this a little safe, just because it's a marathon save. Normally you can time your jumps to where you don't have to wait for the anchors to come back up. You can use the slow movement of the water to make it to where like you land on it as soon as it comes up. But we're going to keep it safe and just go through it normally. Knuckles are really good here. You can hit through the wall and the switch there in one fluid motion. And through there. And I like to do this on the checkpoints as well. It saves a couple frames there. Treasure Knight has a very forgiving hitbox, especially when it comes to the orbs. The orbs in his hitbox, the orbs are so small, and he can kind of dance around the orbs as well. Makes this fight a lot easier without them. And then you just basically use the shovel cancel to stay down. He has an RNG where he can actually go to the ceiling. Luckily we didn't get that. He has two other patterns as well. That was pretty much one of the more favorable patterns as well. And dream sequence number 2, if our new announcer has anything to say as well? This be a perfect time?
Perhaps I do. So for anybody following at home, we do have some donation incentives for all y'all, and the Mega Man X Dashless 100% incentive, I'm happy to report, has been met. We're going to get us some Dashless 100%. I have no idea what that is, but I am excited to find out. We do have another one coming up a few hours later, the Valis Choose the Game incentive. If you've never seen the Valis series, it's very anime, but it's still pretty cool. You get your choice of Sid of Valis or Valis the Phantasm Soldier. Both of them are tied right now, so you get to break the tie at your discretion.
That sounds fantastic. Alright. Flying Machine, aka Crying Machine, where all your runs go and die. And it sends you into a puddle of tears. Some of the best music in the game, arguably. Some would say the best track. And I can't blame them at all. This is a great track. Flying Machine, this is where we're going to be getting our dash item, similar to a Mega Man game, the Propeller Dagger. I'm going to grab this just because I want to make sure I have enough gold. Probably didn't need to break that checkpoint, but I just want to be a little safe. Because we need 4,000 gold to get the Propeller Dagger. And here's the introduction of the Hover Meanies, aka what we call the Jawas. We're going to see their wrath here coming up later on in the stage, but they are one of the more annoying enemies in the game when it comes to speedrunning. I don't know, probably even casually, they're really annoying as well. Dinghy dropper there, orbs, and then knuckle through them, get behind them, and then wail on them with a shovel. It's always a fun fight. On the right hand side, you just got to drop down from the ladder. There's a 250 in here, so if you're at least 3750, you can get the dagger. Got a D-boost coming up here. Ah, messed it up, that's alright. Switch to Knuckles there. And this room, the triple jowl room. Actually had a decent setup. I didn't necessarily like it though. But that's okay. So that room's real tough. The key is to get past the first one, which will always come down low and blow the propeller at you. The second one comes right before the first set of cannonballs, and then the third one will come on the right-hand side of the screen, right as you're about to get there. So it can be pretty annoying. But you can get through that room pretty quickly. It's just very hard and very rare that they're actually helpful for you. One of the few auto-scrollers you have to endure in the Shovel of Hope campaign, which isn't too brutal. We'll have a few more coming up. And Rat was going to be in my way. I believe these fans are on a global timer. Alright, Wind Room coming up here. I was a little early. That's okay. I definitely went way early that time. I was practicing this earlier, and I was going early for some reason, and I think I was just not hesitating long enough on that. So there's a visual cue you can make for that room, which we'll get it right here. Or not. We're not going to get it on that one either. Alright, let's try it one more time. It's usually a room I never mess up. But I think it because it requires such specific timing. Alright, that should be good. There we go. Third time is what they say the charm.
You weren't kidding about this level's nickname, though.
Yeah! There's just a lot of areas like that that can, yeah. Be pretty rough. Coming up for Mellow Knight. Sorry. Alright, so I did mess up the fight a little bit. I actually am surprised I saved it. There are multiple ways you can do this fight. There's a really cool low percent strat, which is actually, I think, still the fastest. No, with coin is still, I think, the faster fight. And then there's the charge slash variation with Knuckles that I showed you there. And then there's another variation of that fight. That's a tough fight to learn, no matter which strat you use for that fight. So it pretty much comes down to trying them all out, see which one is works best for you. And in this case, I had to come up with my own. So I mean, there's always that too. You could always come up with your own strat for some of these fights as well. Clockwork Tower, which is probably easily, probably my favorite track in the game for Shovel of Hope. Very reminiscent of a Castlevania stage, both in name and in design, just aesthetics all over the place. You're going to see these sign daggers, very familiar to Medusa heads. They spawn and act just as annoying as Medusa heads, except for they don't petrify you, which that's always good. Here we're going to buy the mobile gear. It's our last purchase of the run. We're going to see its use coming up here in just a moment. Oop, I need to grab that. Dying machine. That's another one. Thank you, David. Always forget about the old dying machine. Ah. Missed relic swapped. We should be okay. Alright, yeah. We'll be alright. So mobile gear allows you to cross spikes, and in this case, it saves us a ton of time. Otherwise, we'd be sitting in what is basically an auto-scroller waiting on that platform. Truth be told, I actually did not realize this in my very first playthrough of the game, like aeons ago before I learned the speedrun. And then once I learned the speedrun, I'm like, oh, that's actually what you're supposed to do with it. So we do have an auto-scroller here if you have anything else to come up.
Well, let me take a look-see.
Sounds good.
Would appear that we have here a reminder. For anyone who's wondering what you're donating toward, that is, of course, going toward SpeedGaming Live 2021, next year's event, which is, with any luck, going to be live again. And I don't know if you've ever tried running a live speedrun event. There is a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money, and also we want to keep those prize pools nice and full so we can get some real good tournaments going. So please help us make SGL 2021 the best it can be.
Absolutely. As a runner at the first one, it was such a fun experience, and I would love to do it again. Hopefully we get to do it again next year. Alright, Tinker Knight, you can one-shot him with a gear, first shot. And then he comes back. Again, we can use the gear again to damage with him on top. There's a different, much faster fight than this, using the Dust Knuckles. Very difficult to pull off, though. Takes a lot of practice to learn. Or we can just take it the traditional way, which we'll go and do here. And Charge Slash right at the end. You can actually use Knuckles to stay within his hitbox. And without having to worry about it. It's really, really awesome to watch. It's just one of those fights I've never managed to nail down, but it's really, really impressive. Make the stranded ship for Polar Knight. This is one of those classic levels that really tests your inventory, whether you've collected relics or not. It makes the stage a lot easier than, say, like your casual playthrough. Switch to gear, make a little skip with that here. So one good use for gear is right there, is just allowing you to skip small areas like that. We'll use it again later on. Knuckles really good through this section as well. Got a little bit too close there, that's fine. So magic usage is also very important here, making sure you have enough for the upcoming rooms. Whew. Alright, so that one's a tough strat. I almost messed that up. It's fine. This is also one of my favorite tracks as well. We're gonna have to take this a little safe. Yeah, Polar Knight's track is really, really good. I'm gonna grab the health over here as a safety. And we're gonna knuckle this guy right here. Make sure we get this small magic right there, because I need that to do that. There we go. Timing is a little bit off there. Oh my goodness. Would not leave me alone. Alright, so normally we can do a deboost here as well, but not going to be able to do it right now, so we can do that. As a backup. Alright, so low health shouldn't be an issue anymore. Should be okay until the end. Mobile gear across that, deflect that, and make sure you kill him, because he can knock you off and really make you very upset. We are good on magic, so I can do that. Polar Knight, much like Treasure Knight, is very weak to Chaos Orb. But luckily with Polar Knight, much like Treasure Knight, if you tap that jump and attack button in succession, just like you do with Shovel Cancel, you can kill him pretty quickly. This stage is pretty tough in low percent. I haven't ran low percent that much, but I do remember having major issues in Stranded Ship. Low percent is an also very fun category to really grind out. Bunch of Koopas really pushed that category hard back in the day. There's a lot of learning low percent. Teaches you a lot of the basic mechanics of the game too, which make everything a lot easier. So that was our third and final dream sequence. We are now on to what you could refer to as the Wily stages of the game. We have 3 final stages and a classic boss rush coming up. So we call Tower 1 here. And a very sketchy strat coming up right here. Alright, we're good. Very fun strat you can do with the gear right here. Wait, nope, nope, nope. Wait, no. We're going to start this all over. I got too close to the evil propeller rat. Knocked me off my balance. I'm telling you, man, those propeller rats, they're cute and adorable, man, but they will, they can be pretty mean, too. We don't need to worry about money. There's no more purchases we need to make. So what we need to do is throw the gear here, and then come up here. That's what we wanted to do. I'll go through this guy here. Little swag gear there. Tower 1 is also a really good track. You just get like back-to-back-to-back bangers right in a row. Shouts to Jake Kaufman. These guys, you can kind of manipulate them to jump over you. Their RNG is a little weird. I haven't quite mastered their patterns yet, but seems like they'll always, for the most part, jump over you. It's a neat little strat right there. You make that little chompy come out, pogo him, and then pogo these drip samurais. Alright, looks like we're good. Alright, so minus the death at the start. Not a bad Tower 1. This will destroy your bit rate on stream every time with the acid raid in the background. Every time. That's okay. We wanted to get the magic in that block. Just to make sure we have enough right here. For all the shovels. Alright, so if you remember that stun lock that we did way back in the very first stage of Plains on Black Knight 1 with the shovel cancel stun lock. We're going to do it again, but it's a much harder fight. That's alright. We lost it, but we can save it. We can try to recover it. Alright, so that is you have a much smaller window for error. You cannot let Black Knight recover from any of the stun lock hits. If you do, he'll go invisible, zap left and right like he did, and eventually there's another phase where he'll you know, grow wings and cast Armageddon upon you and throw asteroids from the sky. It's just a nightmare of a fight if you let it get that far, but that fight is pretty tough to get, and it takes a lot of practice, but you can get pretty consistent at it. We're going to deboost this little guy right here. Going into Tower 2. This room here. That's okay. Just want to make sure I get rid of that drip samurai. Call this the Mario Maker room. I think you can tell why. I'm gonna grab this just in case Jawa's coming up here, jerks. Okay, that was banana peel there. You just didn't see it. Yeah, that was a complete accident. That's okay. I speedrun a lot of platformers, and that's always my excuse when I just slip off into a pit. There was a banana peel there. Oh, you just didn't see it. Oh, Jawas, please. That's example number 212 of why Jawas are just the worst. Alright, we have a very long auto-scroller coming up. If you have any other announcements to make, this would be a grand time right before we hit boss rush.
A grand time. Dang, I don't know what I can... I was just ready for normal time. We'll see what I can do. want to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the really cool incentives we've got coming up, because we've got a lot of unlocks taking place here on Friday. We've got coming up already a little bit work toward the Bare Knuckle 3 incentive. We have Streets of Rage 1 through 4 in the morning, well, later on today, I suppose, and we are at $12.50 to play Bare Knuckle 3 instead of Streets of Rage 3. I know there are differences. I couldn't tell you what they are off the top of my head, but I have to imagine it's harder. Otherwise, why would we be striving for it, right? Then we also have Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo Bonus Run. I love me some Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh, heck yeah.
That is another $50 incentive, so we are at $0.50 on that one, and we also have a Super Street Fighter 2 bonus run. Now, I'm not sure if that's a Super Turbo, but still, Super Street Fighter 2, excellent game, treasured part of my childhood. Would love to see that one run through fast. Another $50 incentive. These are all really small, bite-sized incentives, really achievable. We can absolutely hit these. So come on, friends, let's surprise the morning crowd by hitting some of these incentives for them, eh?
Absolutely, perfect timing. Alright, Boss Rush. The boss order is random, minus Polar Knight being within the first 3 that you get. Magic usage is very important throughout all of them. You just want to make sure you have, for one, enough magic to one-shot Tinker here, which we already got him first, so it's not a big deal. But I'm going to conserve my magic on this fight just so I have extra magic for the rest of the fights. The reason why Polar Knight is always in the first 3 is because of the spike floors. The developers were very nice and did not want you to have a cheap death, you know, come last because of spike floors. Plague Knight, my favorite. Oh, I did not get a charge slash for some reason. That was weird. That's why I was just kind of sitting there doing nothing. He is just pretty much like the same fight, except for a little bit different in Boss Rush. Jeez Louise, if not even worse. So here comes number 3. Third in the rotation. This is like the latest that he can come in the order. A little bit better. We got rid of usually my issue in Boss Rush, which is Plague Knight. Mole Knight, pretty much the same fight, except for we have Charge Slash this time, so we can use that to our advantage. Key Knight is probably my worst fight here. I just never get the pattern right, but we'll try. It's mostly getting the Charge Slash on him. Okay, we want to be very careful here. Crap. That's not what I wanted. Alright, whew, that was close. Pretty much same fight for Treasure. It's gonna be a little bit of a different fight for Propeller. Ooh, there we go. So that one is the boss fight, or boss rush Propeller fight, which is a little bit different. His pattern is much different. Because he just does not have the stage of Flying Machine. You can use the Charge Slash to allow like Spectre's hitbox to kind of pass through you, like so. And not a bad boss rush. Plague was probably my biggest issue there. Plague and Treasure, but yeah, not a bad fight. You know what? It's a marathon. Let's save the knights. Why not? Coming up, the final stage, Tower 3. We're going to have 2 fights coming up here. And dot done will be at the end of Enchantress 2. Oh, why did I do that? These always go in the same order, so I know better. I don't know why I'm jumping in different areas I shouldn't be. There we go. So making the long, dark hallway walk to the final boss of the game. Right there on that step, you can go ahead and dagger your way over and then throw a gear down. Save you a little bit of time. And this first fight's going to go very specific. I'm going to start with gear and then go with orb. Right at the start. Wow, that was a really good fight. So that fight goes so fast, it's really hard to explain it. So we put the gear at the start, so because Enchantress is always going to go to the left, so that when she runs into the gear, it actually does damage, which is actually pretty funny. But again, it's just another one of those scripted fights. You just got to learn the pattern, and you can really help it work your way. We're going to be getting ready on time. On the final hit of Enchantress 2. Dagger on the side. That's a really good one. And that is a dot done. 51:18, minute 18 over my estimate. Not happy about it, but that's okay. We made some just silly mistakes for the most part. I got everything I wanted to get. Wind tunnel in Flying Machine, that was really weird. I usually never mess up that room, so that was unfortunately a lot of lost time. Other than that, I was pretty happy with it. That was a pretty good run. Not bad. So I'm going to go ahead and let the credits roll since we can get the next game running. Thank you again. I am SDiezal. This was Shovel Knight any %. There are 3 other campaigns. You have Plague Knight, you have Spectre Knight, and Key Knight playthroughs. All with their respective speedruns categories. Giant community of great people that would love to help you out run this game. If you have any interest whatsoever, look for our Discord on speedrun.com. Other than that, I will be back in about 4 hours for Link to the Past 100%. Until then, enjoy the runs. Coming up next, I believe we have Crash Bandicoot, so enjoy that, and I'll catch you guys later.